sublime. It is the light, the guiding light, from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. In the depths of your being, the truth resides. Embrace your power, let your spirit rise. With every step forward, you transcend the expanded conscious community we commend. Through trials and triumphs, your soul evolves in the symphony of life, where every note resolves. Listen to the whispers of your inner voice. In unity and love, let your heart rejoice. It is the light, the guiding light, from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. It is the light, the guiding light, from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. As we gather together in this sacred space, embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way in unlocking potential day by day. Embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way, unlocking potential day by day.
Hey, 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 what's up, what's up? I hope y'all having a good evening. Here we are on this beautiful Thursday evening here in, of course, where I'm at. I'm not sure where you are at. I'm here in Tulsa, and, we're embarking on a holiday, Christmas. Everybody good this evening? Let me see who's in the room. Thank you for stopping. Miss Mother Gwen here. Lynn is here. Phyllis is here. Holly's here. Oshara, awesome. And we have Miss Claudette from High Point. Of course, I want you to like and share this post. Yes, checking my audio here. Life can be, as they say, life be lifing, right? I'll tell you, as a content creator and, through the years, keeping up with Bishop Carlton Pearson with this, there was a time that Bishop, I think 2019, he was with, and I'm talking about Bishop Carlton Pearson. 2019, the movie had dropped in 2018, and then he started Come Monday. I guess that was his team of people that he worked with when he had expanded consciousness, streaming consciousness, expanded consciousness. I don't really think he should have left it. And he ended up going back from streaming consciousness, expanded consciousness, but extreme consciousness to Come Monday. And then come 2021, 2022, that's when I was like, Bishop Carlton, we need to get back on it. Like I personally found a lot of benefit, and I enjoyed hearing what he had to say. And I think he was a voice of reason and a voice for a lot of people with the, especially with the Black church deconstructing. The Black church hasn't had much of a deconstructing process. That means people that are questioning their faith, and asking questions about what is true, or asking questions, how did we arrive to where we are? Y'all following? How do we arrive to where we are today? How do we get to this point where the Bible is what it is, and we just been repeating these words, and not necessarily getting into the history of America, the history of Christianity in America, theology, right? And a lot of seminaries, he would call them seminaries, semen as in it's putting something in you, it's implanting something in you. And we never got deep into the history. We never got deep into theology. As a people, I grew up, Church of God in Christ, beautiful, experience and expression. As we, in the Kojic space, of course, one of the things that I remember greatly about it is that the Church of God in Christ, one of the things that it really had the ability to use music and carry on a lot of the African traditions within the music. You know, gospel come out of, the gospel was hand in hand with the blues. And you got to imagine, like, gospel music as being what it is today was the imaginations and the creativity of the Black American people, as they would go through life, right? As they would experience life, and how were Black Americans able to put something into words and song that spoke to them. One of those people that was a prolific writer to the Black church, but essentially was a producer writer that just was a pure talent. He was pure talent. And it was someone that Bishop was friends with. But this man was able to really do something. And I was going to play it, but I really don't want to. But it's Andraé Crouch, right? Y'all know who Andraé Crouch is. A lot of people. And when you really think about, you know, levels of gospel music and Christian music and the Black experience, it would be Andraé Crouch was a person that was an amazing writer, and being able to put words to song. And essentially, though, we are evolving. That evolution, from the standpoint of us understanding what evolution is, right? How we evolve, how things evolve. We are evolving, although we may not experience the evolution all of a sudden, until, follow me, until one, you age, you get older. Two, you realize you're evolving when you slow down from, or something slows you down, right, from life. Sometimes you can have an event that happens, right, that puts you into another version of, or another experience of who you are. You got people that experience medical issues, strokes, things of that nature that shifts, accidents that can shift. Um, you can have awakenings, right? Just a near-death experience, out-of-body experience. You can experience incarceration. You can experience something that happens to someone that that's really close to you that shifts shifts some aspects of who you are. All of us may experience some of these things and will experience some of these things on earth. But there is an experience and expression of who you are in this moment in time. And I'm here to tell you, there's no greater time than now. I would almost say ever been, but at the same time, I can only really count the experience and expression of our transformation of life. I can only count that, right? I can only count what I've experienced in my era, and anything outside my era in time is me going either within, or me reading stories, or me going to read a book, or me actually just looking at history. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And I hope it brings some kind of realization. I hope this brings some kind of realization to your life. And I want you right now, there are processes and steps and things that you can do to increase your vibration and your what I would call is my kids say aura. What I want to talk about is your energetic field of knowing, your energetic field of being a human, of course, but then there's something else. There's something that's deeper to who you are as a human. We've gone over this. We've been through this, and you've heard about the occult, OCCULT. Occult. That is just talking about what we would call the hidden knowledges or the hidden understanding. What we got to realize, folks, is that there's been information, there's been understanding, there's been conversations in this world, on this planet, about things that don't get spread a lot. And we would burn the books. We'd burn the books, and we would do things in order to essentially control information that goes to the masses so that we can remain, for those who are in power, to remain in power, to remain and have this upper hand, right? People can have an upper hand. You can hear about injustice. You can hear about justice versus injustice. Everything, even things dealing with race. I was learning recently is like, of course, we understand that race was created, not necessarily thousands of years ago. Race was essentially created by physicians, and they're formulating their ideas about what people are and who people are. And it wasn't just to control the races. Actually, it was, powerful people that was really wanting to control people, right? And the majority, how do we control people? A lot of things comes down to control. We still live in a life under the suppression, under the understanding that I want to have a level of power. I want to have a level of control. Because if I have control, I get to do what I want. I get to live how I want to live. Ego is real, right? Ego is real. Claudette says, I'm 68, and this is the best transformation transformative time of my life. I can't believe how great this is. I love that. I want everyone to see that, because she has chose in some form or factor of who she is as she's going through life. There's these decisions that she's making as we come into a knowledge of our truth, right? And when someone comes and they present you information and they say, especially when it comes to belief, what do you believe? Why do you believe it? And how do those beliefs add to or subtract to the quality of your life? My thing is like, what do you believe? Why do you believe it? And how did you arrive to that place of understanding? Plain and simple. You're born here, you're born there, you're born there. Most likely, you're going to experience the culture, the community, and there's going to be things that maintain the program, and there's going to be things that you may learn and you may discover and you may move outside of the program. I'm here to tell you, as I had in today's title and talk, ready or not. Ready or not. So if you're by your computer, if you're close by your phone, whatever, Facebook, YouTube, just type ready or not. Ready or not. What do you think of when you think ready or not? Most of us can go back to our childhood that listened to a person like me, meaning that most likely you're over the age of 30 and 40. Ready or not. That is words that come from a game that we would play as kids. Just sit back and take a breath, and I want you to be able to take it in and think about your childhood time. Think about that moment when life was day by day, moment by moment. And you would play hide and seek. And it would just be you and your friends, and somebody gets to be it. You're the seeker, looking for people that are finding places to hide, moving around. And we would usually count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. At the end, ready or not, here I come. Something about whenever they sit ready or not, you start questioning, is this a good hiding place? Oh my God, they gonna see me. Because I think the objective was you stay hidden, but you had to run back to home base. And it was really great when you can get back to home base whenever they said that, and they don't know where you are, and they come back and they look and everybody's touching the tree. For some reason, it was always a tree when I was young. But everybody's touching the tree. Ready or not, here I come. There was a bit of angst. There was a bit of nervousness when somebody said ready or not. There was a bit of excitement. We're living in a space, in a time, in this place, that ready or not is something that I really titled for today, because we are not ready for what's already here, let alone for what's to come. But I'm here to tell you there's something special. There's something special. we have available to us more information, more tools, more information that is given knowledge that is testable, measurable, scientific, that we can use, that can govern and give us more resources or give us more understanding outside of the doctor. Y'all follow me? I've taken my blood test and I've created a various tools in AI, artificial intelligence, or let's just say the deep programmed machine learning system we call AI, that gives us the ability to ask questions and gives us the ability to actually create information gathering machines, create agents, robots, digital, that gives us the ability to help us or assist us in life and living, that is not conscious. And you don't have to ever worry about AI being conscious. It is a lie. It is designed to make you have a fear, not towards just AI in itself, but understanding the power of who you are. Because your consciousness of who you are is quite a bit different than whatever tool that is created. Because you have what we call is qualia. Qualia is a part of the consciousness that gives color red. It actually, and how do we feel from the red? How do we smell the red? How do we, right? Yeah. When I say smell the red, what comes to your mind when I say smell red? It could be a rose. It could be a box of chocolates from a heart, right? That's what we have the ability, and then we get to judge. See, AI can't be creative on its own. It's using ones and zeros. AI can just says, is this creative? And then you have to judge and say, that's pretty cool. Maybe I can tweak it. Ready or not. Ready or not. And I'm here to tell you, one, to deconstruct what you believe is just critically asking questions, thinking, and making decisions on what you have been told. And how does that align with what is true to you? Because what is true to you may not be true to somebody else, but not allowing that person or other people to tell you what their truth is, and to get you to not have critical thinking as in, should I or shouldn't I? Let me phone a friend. Let me phone a friend that is not biased, or let me phone a friend that is not this or that. Let me ask people these questions, and maybe I will find somebody that will tell me what they truly believe. A lot of us have been born and raised, especially if you are here on my not stream, what is it, on my what is that thing called? Insight Timer. I'm sorry. On Insight Timer, I get a lot of people that will come from all over the world. And so there's different understandings, different perspectives, right? And so on here, most of us are from America, right? that means our belief systems have come from essentially a lot of our experience through things like the church. And I'm not talking about just the black church. I'm talking about Catholicism, which is Catholic, Protestant, which most of us are. And if it's not that, it still would be within the Abrahamic faith. So that means you got Christianity, Judaism, and then you got Islam. 75% of the world, I believe, I have to look it up, but 75% of the world is an Abrahamic faith. 2.567 million Christians. That is, of course, 1.5 or 1.3 billion Catholics. And, of course, 1.5 billion other. Catholicism is one of the largest religions as a whole. Why is it so big? Colonization, right? Catholicism came along with the European and Roman conquering, pillaging the earth for resources. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here. And we're going to, right, put either ourselves there or extrapolate and pull. And that's how America was not necessarily discovered. First place you may hear this, America was not discovered. America was a land that was, there's a better word than stolen. It was confiscated. No, America was overtaken. Stolen is kind of like, here, I'm taking it. But it was more or less overran, right? So you can use the word stolen, but it was more of an overrun. Like, I'm powerful, I have these resources, you have land and you have resources. Listen, folks, we're still doing the same thing in a different manner. We're still doing the same thing in a different manner. Whether it's someone has gold, someone has oil and gas, right? A lot of Middle Eastern countries, you have a lot of oil. So these companies and people will figure out, how can I get your oil? How can I get the resources that I need? Sometimes those resources aren't even necessarily necessary. That you really need them. It just comes down to ego and power. When you look at Ukraine and you look at Russia, Russia used to be the USSR until that had a shift, right? And once that had that shift, and now here we are back at some of the same ideologies, some of the same inherent, and almost like an inherited envy. I want this, or I feel like I need this, or I have the ability to take this. So guess what? I'm going to justify it and I'm going to take it. Plain and simple. I don't know where that mindset necessarily comes from. It's part of life that we have. It's a part of life that we have just had to deal with as human beings, not able to tap into the divine self of who we are, not being able to have a transformative understanding or idea that, damn, we're all the same, in the sense that we are all humans and we're all on the planet trying to survive the planet. And the reason behind all of what we experience as humans has a lot to do with, it's a form of materialism, but it has a lot to do with what we're talking about tonight. and that is people's ability to separate from levels of evil, separate greed, envy, jealousy, their animalistic nature as a human. Some would talk about what we call is post-humanism. Another thing, I want you to post-humanism. If you're here listening to me, I want you to write down, and if you don't have a pen and paper, please right now get a pen and paper, because I'm not speaking to you just from my own pure knowledge, and you're not following me because it's a cool thing to do. And if you're following me because it's a cool thing to do, stop. Find something else. We're here to elevate each other. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. And I've been almost called to this moment in this experience in life, following and carrying on some of Bishop's approach, which I may later talk about his path until expanded consciousness. But post-humanism, write that down. Post-humanism. Because post-humanism is basically part of a philosophical movement that it's challenging human thinking, right? Part of anthropology. But it's also arguing that humans aren't unique or superior, but interconnected with animals, technology, and the environment. Sometimes we will question traditional boundaries with the human or non-human, the nature and the culture, and the organic versus the machine. We are organic and the machine is what we have created. Basically to foster more inclusive ideas or ethics and understanding our changing world in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, deep intelligence, and basically the ecological crisis, or the ecological or biological. So there's some things that I connect with that post-human, not necessarily meaning like after humans, but we're here able to have this conversation. Ready or not, it is here. And your deconstructing is a critical, I repeat, critical process in order for you to be able to tap in, tune in, turn on, turn up, and connect to what has been here, but also to the fact that we have to. See, we've had knowledge and we've had understanding that we don't even understand. We sit back and we have this conversation about the 2,500-year-old story, Jewish-based story, on a lot of the esoteric or Jewish wisdom even. You know, some of this is Jewish wisdom that we converted to formulate what we call Christianity. A lot of that is on the Apostle Paul and how the church has adopted and really embraced. The church itself has adopted and embraced. And when I say the church, I'm really referring to the Catholic Church, meaning like one of the oldest churches in America, not necessarily the oldest church. Write this down. The oldest church Christianity wise would probably most likely be the Ethiopians, right? You got, it'd be even the Ethiopian Bible, right? How many books it has. There's, how the Catholic Church and the Nicene Creed and the Nicene Council, referred to the Council of Nicaea, how it all formulated. See, that was all formulated in an era and time where the government and religion were tied together. That's the reason why we're having kind of a crisis right now, where they understand that the power of being able to include the government inside a belief system. And so you get to hide in this saying, hey, it's Christian. We all have billions of Christians, but we don't necessarily look at the denominations, 44,000 plus denominations. We don't really have that discussion, right? Is it Jesus? Okay. We do everything we can just to actually, we do everything we can to be comfortable because of what we call as cognitive dissonance, because of other cognitive behavioral and mind-boggling is an easier word without, trying to be too psychological. I don't want you to have to pull out a freaking DSM-5. But just the cognitive dissonance. So there's certain things about who you are that are locked into who you are. And then when you have a reality shift, or when something actually gets you off of your reality, it is uncomfortable. It is something that is like, can actually hurt or be painful, right? To the psyche, to the living, to the brain. And you live in the past and you think about the past, and those things in the past were so real to you. They're so real to you that now whenever it comes to being able to shift and being able to not necessarily believe that is reality, you start having a problem in the hippocampus and the amygdala. Now we're getting into a little bit of neuroscience, right? So that means what happens is in the amygdala, where you have fight, flight, or freeze. Fight, okay, I'm in a situation, what do I do? Right? So we're dealing with human instincts. Fight. So you're ready to fight off to stay alive, Flight, run away. Something happens, you gotta run. What takes place? The adrenaline chemical, adrenaline glands kick in, boom, causes you to develop other chemicals in the body, right? So therefore your pain doesn't show up when you should have pain. To survive, fight, flight, or freeze, right? Brain freeze. Almost like your computer freezes. Don't know what to do, don't know what to do, don't know what to do, right? The brain freezes. Trauma has a way of affecting our brain in that same way, causing us to have these cognitive glitches. We can have glitches. And these glitches in the brain has more to do with the patterns and the behaviors and thinking and right and feeling comfortable or uncomfortable and things of that nature. So we have to learn how to exercise our ability to bring ourselves out of being only what we have known as being human, right? And we have to actually embrace the being. Human being. We never really talk about the being. A lot of times we talk about the human, right? You are a human being. In other words, you have a body, and we have collectively called this thing the body, but we have collectively also called this body and the species in which we live human. But through the years, we have learned through the esoteric knowledge that there is something greater about who we are. There has been books burned. There have been people burned. Once we have the ability to get to the understanding of who Jesus really was, Yeshua, right? Most of the books have made up stories or stories that we're trying to prove. Those people typically try to prove the life and story of Jesus, and Christianity are called apologists, right? They're called or Christian apologist, defending the faith. And I mean, really, they're just plants. They're just plants to actually get people to believe and to fear that what they know, because they have all the research, they have all the research, and it's not even necessarily knowledge, because it's still philosophical. So they know various, through theology, they know all these various people that have formulated or come up with what we would call empirical evidence, right, that proves Jesus. And the thing is stupid. To prove Jesus is it's just trying to get people to get you to believe what they believe. And if you don't believe what they believe, then they're wanting to out-knowledge you, right? They want to out-knowledge you and say, this is what's right. I understand, because science and materialism, I'm not talking about this. It's part of it. Materialism is reality, the material reality. You understand what I mean? Science has its own dogma. And when we start getting into the paranormal, right? When we start getting into the remote viewing and the things outside of ourselves, right? How are we capable, or what we're capable of doing that we've been told that we can through spiritual science, the spiritual teachings. And honestly, if anything I would say about the character Jesus, Yeshua, I think there's a bunch of made up stories. And I think even in the Bible, there are stories that have been formulated formulated and reformulated until it got to the point of where it is. And, but I do believe that, I could say, I do know that there was a person that was like this person, Yeshua. And that it was a person that lived on the planet that spoke out against, or spoke out, not necessarily against, or spoke to the deeper truths, right, of life, of who we are and what we're connected to, especially for that era and time. And that individual was killed for it. Like a lot of people were killed for doing some of the same things. I believe Yeshua was a person that probably had a life more deeper and more advanced, or more human than we give it. But going back to, that's all deconstructing, and that's all my formulations of my own idea. And I can do that. And you can too. Did you know that? And it's okay. It's okay for you to actually explore. It's okay for you to explore deeper within who you are, right? What is here has come upon us, deconstructing, asking questions about our past life. Asking past, when I say past life, asking the history in which we've lived, white picket fence, American dream, right? other countries are not as good as us and we're the best, right? All those things here in America. Post-humanism. We're at a point where we would try to figure out our past. We would try to do things for our future to figure out our future and what it would look like. Now we're living follow me. Now we're living that future that everybody talked about. We're living it. We're living in that future. Throughout the history of life and throughout the history of our country, although we're younger than most countries, we're still all the countries combined with a lot of experiments going on how the human species will evolve if it comes together from all the countries and to formulate one country with one entity that are also humans, right? Given a given color or hue, a complexion, pigments in the skin. And those people come, majority of those people come from West or the European nations, right? And so we're still living in the timeline of that history that is not necessarily long as ago as we believe it is, but we're stuck because of the fact that we are most of us only live in the era in which we live, because it's hard to astral project and get yourself outside of who you are and just be like, okay, like I'm here 2025 and really it's an era in time, but I can also be in 2050 and just realize that, oh wow, it's only been 60 years since civil rights. We're here living and doing our job in our era and time. Post-humanism is an era and time which we live in today. When was the era and time when humans begin to merge with technology, or when humans begin to figure out that they have greater abilities? In order for humans to figure out that they have greater abilities than what they've been told, they got to deconstruct their reality. And if they don't deconstruct their reality, they will still go along with what has been put in place and the programming as in what we call indoctrinations of what life is. And indoctrination is not one-sided, right? Indoctrinations are multi-tiered. I have my indoctrinations from which I've come from, but then of course certain indoctrinations are very heavy. Like belief systems are very heavy indoctrinations, And when I mean heavy, that's when it gets involved with our behavioral, cognitive ability to move beyond or move forward, right? Before we end tonight, I'm going to give you some tools and we're going to discuss how to increase, how to let go, how to move ourselves beyond, and not necessarily have to be in the circles or in the group or in the era and time of the people that are stuck. And a lot of people that are so deeply stuck, I'm sorry. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not here to help anyone convert or deconvert or, I'm not here to help anyone necessarily do that. That's on them and they're going to have to do it. I'm just here going to share and going to experience my experience and help us understand the decentralization of the human and also understand that there are powers that be that are using other human beings or people, right? They're using their money, they're using their knowledge, and it's backed up by their ego and their ability to want to control. Evil is real. Evil has its ability to attach itself to individual people, and they can get stuck, right? The same essence and spirit of people that were slave holders and had no remorse at all can actually still be alive today. It's just a different form, and it's not necessarily 100% all race-based. Race could be a factor, a major factor, which it was prior. But abolitionists were killed, or abolitionists were, right? They went through something too drastic. Abolitionists did. They can at times go through things to prove a point even worse than the given slaves of that particular area, possibly. You get what I'm saying? Like, we want to make you an example. Colonization just has moved into a consciousness, and it has moved into knowledge, and it's beyond belief. And when I say belief, I'm specifically talking about spiritual belief systems and religion, really. Those systems have the ability to dial deep within the deep programming that almost wants to attach to your what I would call to your a DNA structure, like your makeup. Mama did it, grandma did it, great grandma did it, great grandma did it, and we're all comfortable with it. I have comforts with certain levels and feelings behind certain levels of what I experienced in Pentecostalism, because we were wanting to connect deeply to the Spirit, and we did want to feel the Spirit. We believe we felt the Spirit. There's times I believe it could be, and there's trends what we call is not transformational, but we would have a not transcendental. It's a trans word, but we would have this experience and we wouldn't know what to call it. But I'd still think sometime Bishop Mason, who was a conjurer and connected to a lot of other spirituality that he did not profess or talk about because he wasn't able to with some black folks at the time, and plus he wasn't able to with white people. How his grandmother was a as far as conjurer, and she was hoodoo, Hoodoo, not which is not to be confused with voodoo. Hoodoo. They were people that were connected to the plants, ecology. Ecology is the word. They're connected to the environment and connected to the plants, and they were able to use the plants, and they're able to use the environment. They're able to use the universe, all the things to heal, right? They're able to use it for various different things because that's what they had, and that's what they had access to. And there wasn't a given knowledge, right? Just, through studying and material sciences that allowed them to actually do the things that they needed to do to be either one, set free, or do the things so that they don't have to experience things as they were experiencing them, and how to break free. I think some of those things had a lot to do with helping or assisting with people breaking free from the traditional church. Because back then you would be dealing with more of Baptists and levels of Catholicism and things of that, right? So 120 years ago, Pentecostalism was revolutionary. It was like, we don't do this in the church. Right? What are these black people doing? And then all of a sudden, black people doing, what are these white people doing? Why are they rolling around the church and doing all that? They were having experiences, right? They were, oh man, somebody, it's, man, I have to look it up. Because everything right now on the internet, when you look up the word trans, has to do with just because of the internet, it has to do with sexual. And really, trans is not the word trans is just the meaning beyond, right? It sucked because it's like we have made the word trans such a sexual thing, and we can't even pull our self away from really understanding what it is, because you got transpersonal, you got transformation, you got transcendental. The really word means beyond. Can't really. As I search it, it's still. It only wants to, like, the internet. That's one thing. Is like, see, there's the internet goes. The internet only has the ability to talk about what we talk about, and it has. And I'm not looking for anything to do with gender. I'm talking about the experience of what you may go through in life. Anybody experience something and have different experiences in life and you feel it? Any of y'all out there feel that? Right? When you have that experience that is transformational, and it's almost like an awakening. There's a word, I can't even think of it. Man, it's got me stuck. Anyways, ready or not, there's something taking place and has been taking place, but now we're at what I call is a point of almost like we have to make choices. When you look at our government and what's going on with our government, literally, there's a sector of people that are doing things that they want to do that is designed to benefit them and possibly those who they want it to apply to. Not saying that where our government was utopia, not saying where our government was ideal, but we had made a lot of progress, somewhat. We had begun to make a lot of progress, and I think a lot of the people that understand that if we can keep on going this way and making this progress, all of a sudden we're going to lose power. And power as in, like, I'm not going to be able to be the one in charge, and we don't want that. Because we want to be in charge. I believe we're not ready for what's here. And I know for what's to come. And I don't, and this is not necessarily to insult you or insult people. It's just an observation. We live in a time where people are trying to, we try to act like things are normal. You think about the administration, you think, wow, underneath, we know that the normal of what things would normally be is changing, especially when it comes to politics, let alone religion. And as we move forward, institutions won't necessarily be trustworthy. And I think more than anything, technology is the thing that is moving, not necessarily just fast. But because they're really trying to compete against each other, right? With AI, is who can actually institute and put more out there and get people to actually feed their engines. Because what you got to realize is Google is an engine that we're feeding for search. We put our sites on there, they scrub the internet, they grab our sites, and then we feed their engine with information, and then their engine turns around and serves ads to make them money because the people want attention. But that technology is moving beyond that. It is moving faster than what like our bodies and our minds can actually process. And people feel, and honestly, you may start to feel it in your body. You may feel it in your body, which is also in your mind, and which is also in your nervous system. And you can feel this before you, and you can't really put it to words. Anybody feel it? When you start talking about our insurance and our healthcare and things of that nature, it was honestly, it is true that our insurance and all those things they're out of hand when it comes to the universal care of individual human beings. It's out of hand because you can't get services in our country unless you have a certain given amount of money. And if you don't have a certain given amount of money, then we got to put you on these services. And then we have to ask the questions why you don't have the money, because we need the money and blah, 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 blah. Right. So if you're out there, we're going to bring this home, and I'm just here to tell you. So if you out here and you're listening to me and you feel any kind of unsettled, if you feel any level of distraction, maybe you feel tired, and at times you can feel alert, and all this can kind of hit you all at once. It's a good thing. You're listening to me tonight as I talk about these things, and I just want you to know that it's nothing wrong with you, and you are just registering and you're feeling the transition that's taking place. That's it. People can be weird, do weird things. Anything that we had when we were younger and how we used to live and all those things, I'm here to tell you, if you don't take that from your past, if you don't stop trying to live your past, you're not going to be ready for what's here, let alone what's to come. And it's not a bad thing if you kind of can understand who you are, because you already know something. You're already dialed in terms of your consciousness, and where it rides is already connected to the higher self. We just have to move ourselves into a whole different realm or understanding, right? We have to use the various tools and methodologies in order to raise our vibration and move ourselves out of the old and in with the new. We have been taught to think change happens in events, wars, revolutions, and elections. But I'm here to tell you that the deepest changes don't necessarily just announce themselves. That's what I'm here to let you know, ready or not. These changes, they come kind of quietly. And these things are reshaping how we think. They're reshaping how we relate. And even as I was talking about deconstructing, it's like, how do we define truth? And when you think about the powers that be and authority, how do we define authority? How do we define our selfhood of who we are? That's the moments in which we are living right now. See, it seems as though, and I can dance around it, but I want you to get this. What's happening is not just political. So you got to drop a little bit of that out of who you are for this moment. It's psychological and a lot of it's technical. A big chunk of it is also spiritual. More than we want to give it, it is deeply spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I'm talking about our divine connection. Divine meaning esoteric, above and beyond the flesh, and the interconnectedness of us and the history of us and what we don't necessarily understand or fully know. Whether people want to use the word spiritual or not, it just is. See, we are moving away from a lot of the old forms of stability, right? We know and we understand that those things weren't perfect, but they were very familiar. You feel me? It was familiar. Like all these structures are familiar that, we love the community with the church, and that's familiar. But that's something we have to reshape or restructure as we move to what is to come, as you're doing those things and staying in those same mental spaces, whether it's inclusive or not. As you stay into those spaces, and what I mean by inclusive, I'm not even talking about inclusion. What I'm talking about, I just want to clarify, what I'm talking about is the definition of the Bible, the definition of the church and who the church is, and how, you can choose what you want to believe, but yet though this is what we believe, great. I mean, those things are cool, but what happens when all that familiarity disappears? You either wake up or you're going to cling harder to your past. That's why so many people, they kind of feel vindicated right now. Like history finally chose their side, right? Like Christian nationalism. While others are feeling levels of grief or feeling confusion. Some people are longing to go back to a time that may not ever have been as safe or as simple as they remember, but you get to actually feel the difference between this and that. I want you to make sure you understand that this isn't about right or left, but it's about the orientation, the awareness, and the collective understanding of our reality. Are you facing forward into this reality? Or are you actually backward into memory? Because a lot of those memories and things we feel in they feel safe. A lot of times you were younger. But that can't prepare you for what's next, let alone what's here. So one of the shifts that we majorly had, and there's a guy I will talk about, and his name is Federico Fagan. He's the guy that created the microprocessor. Eventually I may have some more videos of him. He created the microprocessor, but he had a spiritual awakening and almost an out-of-body experience. He was the first person to originally work on making a computer conscious. Video I watched last week, he talked about how we We want to use mathematics to discover consciousness. We want to use science to discover consciousness, but consciousness is what created mathematics and science. So we have to get into more of what we call as the quantum understanding, quantum field, almost like enough to what mysticism or metaphysics, right? See, this technology that we're all accustomed to is no longer neutral. It's crossed the threshold where technology doesn't just assist human life, it's beginning to shape it. It's guiding it, it's predicting it. And in some cases, it's deciding for our lives. The short form videos is changing our brains, the way we think and the way we move and operate. And it's really targeting, not necessarily just targeting, but it's having a deeper effect, of course, on younger kids as the brains are developing. The attention span is changing and we are changing. And I'm not here to actually classify the good and bad. It just is. We understand clearly that there are some things that are definitely negative to the human essence and being able to process thought, think, and be able to operate. But it just is, and the powers that be have actually infiltrated and used the money and power and our attention to get us to desire it, want it, and feel like we need it. We are integrating these systems into our daily lives. And a lot of these things don't carry wisdom. They don't carry ethics, and they don't have a soul. It's optimization, it's control, and it's centralization. Centralizing the thought, centralizing. Think about it. When you think about the true, the Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Martin Luther King was assassinated. JFK was assassinated. Kind of these big figures. Charlie Kirk was a content gathering machine for a organization. And he was assassinated. And he was a figure within this content generating machine that used all of the things I'm talking about and going to college campuses as an adult to challenge 18 and 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. And as an expert at discussing, as an expert, as a what we call is a debater, understanding the cues, understanding like how to pivot, understanding various ways of manipulation within these debates. Built $100 million organization based on the feeding of the individuals because they wanted him to feed the system. He has content like this online for people to discuss his ideas, his truths, whether good or bad, right or wrong. The thing is it was an engine. It was a system. And that system was disrupted. where I was going with that was talking about how the content in which we were taking or ingesting was actually shifting individual people. This content that I'm talking is also hopefully allowing you to shift who you are, shift and actually but I want you to do it on your own. I'm not trying to prove that I'm right. It's on you to discover and have a transformation or transformative experience. Right? But these systems are being guided by groups of people. And honestly, a lot of these systems are being guided by small groups of people that do not live the same as everyone else's lives. And Charlie Kirk was a person that allowed those individual people to have a lot of power that they need in order to control more people. Crazy thing, this is in science fiction. This is not a thriller. It's not paranoia. It's just part of a structure of reality in which we need to be aware. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not just talking left or right. That is just more of a right thing. But even from a quote unquote left side, because those things are weird to me, and a progression, it's just because we have people voting and doing things and we're trying to actually come up with things for us to work and live together, the corporations and businesses and those power players still had a role in that. They just didn't have a big enough role or a big enough power because there was too many people also in that group of people that would actually question some of the power. Even if they couldn't change some of the power, they still would be able to question it, where over here, we don't even question the power. We just let the power be. We just keep it going, especially if it has money. Every major transition in human history involved power of being able to concentrate it, normalize it, and then figure out a way to defend it. The Bible was one of those tools that they used in that era and time to do that. This moment is no different. Except now these tools are a little bit more visible, but they move fast. And it's embedded into our daily lives. I use Amazon, but I know Amazon is a piece of trash in terms of how they do business with certain individual people, how they're stealing from a lot of people. When I say stealing, they're literally, it's been evidence and it's been proven where somebody has an idea, they're working with that idea, they're making money off that idea. Amazon will come along, replicate that item, and sell that same exact item against one of their people. Walmart used to just take your item and say, hey, we're going to buy you out. We're just going to buy you out. Right? You bring your product to us. We like it. We're just going to buy you out. They did have some white labeling going on. Walmart did. But Amazon's pretty straight up. We will take your product, white label it, and then market our product way better than we're marketing your product on this application. And we'll just, but the convenience of Amazon, the convenience of Walmart, can't stand Walmart and what it does to its employees, right? And what it's doing to the system. But there's an uncomfortable truth. And that is most people aren't being controlled by force. We're just being guided by comfort. And I'm one of them. See, the algorithms don't need to dominate you as long as it can distract you. See, systems don't need to oppress you if they can define what feels normal. See, colonization and the ideal that the man is in charge, instead of just getting someone to be and look like the other people that they want to control, but use force, guns, and things of that nature. Now what they do is they understand that these people, especially when it comes to belief and faith, will actually have conversations and get people on the level of fear. And then the minute that I got you locked in with fear of hell, fear of dying, fear of God, fear, history shows, blah, 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 end times, Jesus is coming, all these things, they won't tell you about John Nestle Darby and how he formulated. They will just tell you all this old history. And they will get you and pull you into all this, and you don't even realize that you're just living from past history. And they're pulling you in through this dogma, and they'll use the most tattooed, cool, suave black dude, if you will, right? Been locked up or something or whatever else, and now he's coming, and they're just able to get other people to believe him, come in droves, if you will, so that you are uninformed. And I'm here to tell you that's why consciousness matters. Not belief, not theology, not ideology, not even our tribal identity, not even our ethnicity. Consciousness from awareness. Until the unconscious becomes conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. A lot of people will leave this earth and leave this planet. Most people leave this earth and leave this planet unconscious of what they are capable of. They will leave this earth believing what someone else had told them over and over again. And they may not fulfill something that it's possible that they were designed to do. Yeah. See, belief is something that is deeply inherited. Consciousness is a practice, and it needs to be, and I'm only talking about surface level consciousness. Surface level, I mean, like, we don't understand a lot of things about where we get who we are outside of all the programming, but yet though there's still, we know is more. We are understanding that we can actually move who we are and begin to heal ourselves and begin to shift even our DNA. That's called epigenetics. Write that down somewhere. Epigenetics. Just kind of explore. Look at Bruce Lipton, epigenetics. He has proven through a petri dish that we can shift our genetics. We can shift who you are. We'll talk about that before it's over. See, it's about learning and to ask questions and better questions instead of just memorizing things for better answers. Questions that are like, why do I feel rushed all the time? Why does everything feel urgent but yet empty? Why do I know more yet I feel less grounded? Why does this outrage that we're having towards each other feels addictive? That's why you got to be careful, even if you're going out there trying to prove yourself, or somebody says something stupid, or even in the justice work, you gotta, right? Because that could become addictive when you're not really having a transformative or transformative experience. Or actually, what do we need to do to move forward? It's one thing to get out and protest, boom, people protest, but unless we have, and unless we go deeper in our awareness and go under and connect more to our higher states of consciousness, I'm not telling you that this is all personal failures that we have failed. These are signs through the environment, through who we are, through the instinct. And here's what's special. I told you there's something special. And this I'm here to tell you that this isn't about preparing for the future. You need to recognize that the future is here. You are standing now inside of it. This isn't about what's to come. This is a question about who are you becoming in response to all of this. See, traditions don't change systems. They just are connected to the character. Some people are going to double down on certainty, and some people will actually surrender. But some will outsource their thinking entirely. But some of us are going to be quiet, and we're going to get more depth, more discernment, more presence, ability to manifest, ability to overcome, ability to move outside of almost ever feeling what everyone constantly feels. They won't be the loudest people. They won't be all going viral. And they won't live in the convenience of life. I went to the grocery store and picked up a few items. And I was able to just witness life, just witness people, just to take it in. This is us being able to think. This is us being able to consciously choose in a world designed to keep us in a reactive state. And also, I'm here to tell you, this is what expanded consciousness is really about. It's not necessarily being right. It's not necessarily predicting future. But it's about humanity. When the definition of humanity is being questioned, being renegotiated. See, the powers that be believe that they are going to take over and have robots and have all these different things that we live with or live by. And I'm here to tell you, I know we will have some more of that. But it will not take the place of wisdom. It won't take the place of love. It won't take the place of defining art. Using the tools to do it is not defining the art. We will define the creativity or the art and how it causes us to respond. I'm not anti-technology. That would be stupid. I'm just here to let you know and let us know that we have moved and moving into a place that we will need to deconstruct daily, but understand there's something within us that we can use to rise above the current vibration or frequency that may have us feeling stuck. But it's going to take beyond time. It's going to take us in understanding and connecting to who we are, our behaviors, right? Our connecting to what we're doing. So tonight, if you're listening, questioning, if you're sensing something bigger is unfolding, good. Now, how do you remain in that space and actually work in that space? How do you believe? How do you work in that space? Ready or not? See, when you make adjustments of who you are, you can make adjustments of who you are. And you need to make adjustments of who you are. And begin to receive and understand that there is something that is within you, something that you are connected to, something that you can connect to, even greater. But we can't be distracted. And we have to learn how to bring ourselves into a presence, into a space as much as possible, almost daily. Bring yourself into a presence and space to understand that I've been through what I've been through. Now I'm ready to move myself. I'm ready to shift myself. And I will see results. What you do, what you think, and what you believe matters. Notice the breath. Notice the breath. Just open up and to be free at this moment. Not worried about what someone's saying, what someone's thinking about you. I'm looking for the sacred peace, the sacred place, and understanding that you can live a life worth living. You can find your call, you can find your gift. Just deep breath, connection. Love you guys. I will be on Insight Timer. I need to get it booked. I'll be on Insight Timer tomorrow, connecting and chatting and talking. I appreciate you. I love you. Check me out tomorrow at 7:30. I believe it's 7:30. I'll post it in Patreon. Thank you for tapping in and tuning in. And if you want to connect to me on Patreon, there it is. Patreon.com/expanded consciousness community. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Thank you for just tapping in. And we'll see you tomorrow, Friday. And anything else, I'll post it in the Patreon. All right, guys. Love y'all. Good chatting. Hopefully you got some out of this. We'll talk soon.